Here we'll talk about the use case diagram. Let's see how the syntax of the use case diagrams looks like. So we'll begin with the use case diagrams. This rectangle box indicates the system behavior, and there are two actors which are involved, and there are three different use cases: report emergency, open incident, allocate resources. So this is the use case diagram. It is designed for the friend, that nothing but the first responder interactive emergency navigational database. It is an accident management system. Here the lines which are indicates the association between the actor and the use case. The information flows between these two components. The rectangle box around the use case represents a system boundary. So use case diagram, as per the template, it consists of, there are 6 fields which we are following. The name of the use case should be a unique and participating actor who all are interacting with the use cases, and what is the condition to enter into the application. Then what kind of messages, exchanges or communicates between two components, actors and use cases, and what is the exit conditions in order to close the application. And finally, what are the quality requirements which are related to the non-functional requirements in terms of performance and constraints or platforms, on which platforms the application is suitable and how fast we are getting the response from the application. So sample example according to the 6 fields which we have mentioned now. So this is the use case of the report manager. So who all are the participating actors? According to the diagram, there are two actors, field officer and dispatcher. The flow of the events takes place between the actor and the three different use cases. The field officer activate the report emergency. Then the application should respond by presenting the form of filling some few of the applications like login page. It is providing for the field officer in order to enter into the application. That is how the field officer is connecting with the application. Then again, the field officer has to fill all the type of the information which is provided in the form. Then we should describe the possible responses to the emergency situation. Once the form is completed, the field officer can submit the form. Then the application which we named it as a friend, that will notify to the dispatcher. Means the who all are actors which are connected with the applications. The dispatcher review all the submitted applications and maintain a database of the same incident, and dispatcher can select the response and he can send the acknowledgement to the report manager. Then finally, the friend function displays and sending the acknowledgement to the field officer. So what is the entry condition for the application? They have to log into the application. Exit condition is, once the acknowledgement is received by the system to the actors who all are communicating with the application. The quality requirement is how fast within a time constraints the acknowledgement should be received by the actors who initiated the request. So in this, there are different type of relationships: communication, inclusion, extension, and inheritance. How the communication takes place. So as we said in the diagram, there are solid lines which we are used for the communication between the actor and the use cases. Here, the field officer and dispatcher will be communicating with the report emergency use case as per the diagram. So here, report emergency is the use case, and there are two actors communicated with a solid line. That is what the communication relationship. What about the include relationship? So these kind of relationships are needed in order to reduce the complexity of the system. So the include relationships will be represented by the dashed open line. So on the top of the line, we should mention like to, lesser than and greater than symbol. We have to write include relationship. As shown in the diagram, there are dashed lines. So they are here. The view map, this is one of the use cases. It is directed for two different use cases: open incident and allocate the resources which both are internally related to the view map. So the arrow mark is marking to the view map by mentioning the include type of relationship. In the same way, extend relationship. When you look at the diagram, there are two alternative solutions in order to make a connection with the database or any other systems. So we have to mention the dashed line to represent the extend relationship between the two different use cases. But the main difference between the include and extend relationship is the location of the dependency. Here we have alternative solutions, and there in the include we have those two are included in the single use cases. Then the third type of relationship is inheritance relationship. And here, for example, we can give vehicle of the type car, bus, truck. There are three different ways of use cases which all are belong to the vehicle. So according to this example, we have a mobile application. In order to unlock the mobile application, we have a different varieties of the ways to unlock. We can give the face recognition, or we can give a thumb impression or the pattern. In the same way, the actor can authenticate the application either with a password or by showing some card scratch. So there are two new use cases are represented using the specialization of authenticate the use case. So here the triangle symbol indicates the inheritance relationship. Then comes to the scenario. Use case, it is an abstraction that describes all possible scenarios involving the described functionality. So here one thing we have to make a note, there are different use cases which are involved in the diagram, but for what scenario we are trying to connect with individual use cases, that we have to think of it. So in this condition, the scenario using the template with three fields, the name of the scenario, who all are participating in order to connect with that scenario, and what kind of messages are takes place between the actor and the use cases. Note, there is no need of the entry and exit conditions in the scenario. So what are those three fields we have to take care of the scenario? Let's assume that the warehouse on fire. This is the name of the scenario which is underlined. Then who all are participating actors? The Bob and Alias are the field officer. Here the field officer is the type of a class, and Bob and Alias are the object which are belong to the class. The John dispatcher, the actor who is belongs to the dispatcher. So when you are using the object along with the class, we have to underline. This is syntax we have to follow. And the flow of events, in what way the field officer and dispatchers are trying to connect with that. So in terms of the sentences we have to write. So here according to the problem statement we have written, the Bob is driving on the street in his petrol car. So he notices some smoke is coming out of the warehouse. So he activated the report emergency of the friend application. Then Alias enters to address the building, and there is a brief description about the location and the emergency label. So they confirmed that the input and its wait for the acknowledgement. So what type of emergency label it is. Then the dispatcher is a John. So he is alerted to the emergency by giving a beep sound. Then he reviews the information which is submitted by the Alias and acknowledges the report. So what kind of emergency level it is? So his dispatcher is given the acknowledgement on the report which is raised by the Bob and Alias. So this is how the field officer and the dispatchers are connected between the flow of events. So this completes both the use case diagram about the friend accident management system. Thank you.